Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 22, Text 52. Translation. Maharaj Prithu, who was very opulent due to the prosperity of his entire empire, remained at home as a householder. Since he was never inclined to utilize his opulences for the gratification of his senses, he remained unattached, exactly like the sun, which is unaffected in all circumstances. Purport. The word griheshu is significant in this verse. Out of the 4 ashramas, the brahmacharya, grihastha, vanaprastha and sannyas, only a grihastha or householder is allowed to associate with women. Therefore, the grihastha ashrama is a kind of license for sense gratification given to the devotee. Prithu Maharaj was special in that although he was given license to remain a householder, and although he possessed immense opulences in his kingdom, he never engaged in sense gratification. This was a special sign that indicated him to be a pure devotee of the Lord. A pure devotee is never attracted by sense gratification, and consequently he is liberated. In material life, a person engages in sense gratification for his own personal satisfaction, but in the devotional or liberated life, one aims to satisfy the senses of the Lord. In this verse, Maharaj Prithu is likened to the sun, Arkavat. Sometimes the sun shines on stool, urine, and so many other polluted things, but since the sun is all-powerful, it is never affected by the polluted things with which it associates. On the contrary, the sunshine sterilizes and purifies polluted and dirty places. Similarly, a devotee may engage in so many material activities, but because he has no desire for sense gratification, they never affect him. On the contrary, he dovetails all material activities for the service of the Lord. Since a pure devotee knows how to utilize everything for the Lord's service, he is never affected by material activities. Instead, by his transcendental plans, he purifies such activities. This is described in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Sarvapati vinirmuktam tattvaratvena nirmalam. His aim is to become completely purified in the service of the Lord without being affected by material designations. Griheshu vartamanopi sa samrajya shriyangitaha nasajatendriyateshu niraham matir arkavat. Maharaj Prithu, who was very opulent due to the prosperity of his entire empire, remained at home as a householder. Since he was never inclined to utilize his opulences for the gratification of his senses, he remained unattached, exactly like the sun, which is unaffected in all circumstances. Can you close the door because they're talking downstairs? So I can hear everybody.
I can maybe ask them to.
No, I don't think so. Better, but maybe you can open a window like this here. Because now we are not singing. So. This verse describes the principle of Yukta Vairagya. Yukta Vairagya Muchate. The principle of utilizing everything in the service of the Lord. And just what we read in the Transcendental Diary, is also related to this. That materialistic person wants to enjoy the energy of the Lord, Sita or Lakshmi, and devotee wants to bring Sita or Lakshmi back to the Lord. So similarly, everything Maharaj Prithu had in his home, he utilized for the service of the Lord. Space that he had, food that he had, furniture that he had, any kind of resource that he had, he would utilize for the service of the Lord. So this is the art of Bhakti Yoga, to use everything in Lord's service. If one has some talent, he can use it in Krishna's service. And one service of a mentor or a spiritual guide is to help a devotee to identify and to properly use what he has, all the resources, all the talents, all the skills that he has. In the Varnashrama system also, spiritual guides are supposed to recognize the qualities and the skills of a devotee and help them to engage them in Krishna's service properly. This is very nice. It is a very nice culture, to something that we have already gotten by our nature, or more precisely by our conditioned nature. Something that we have gotten, we can utilize and purify. Srila Prabhupada would sometimes give to one disciple one instruction in relation to this, and another disciple another instruction. So, for example, if one devotee would play guitar, he would tell him, stop playing guitar, play harmonium, play mridanga, and forget about the guitar. And then another devotee, he would tell, make hundreds of songs about Krishna and play with the guitar. Thank you very much. Play with the guitar. So, Srila Prabhupada says that one needs guidance of the spiritual master so that he may not fall down. You may think, why should I take a guru? Because I can chant Hare Krishna, I don't need initiation. But actually one needs that connection to solidify that connection with the parampara and ultimately with Krishna through being initiated by the bona fide spiritual master. One needs that. And then sometimes devotees tell me, oh, I have a guru, but I'm not in touch with him. But why don't you write him? Well, he didn't ask me. So, or sometimes devotees tell me, oh, I'm disappointed with my guru because he doesn't care for me. So, who is supposed to serve whom? Who is supposed to please whom? Can you close the window? Sorry, because it's open. Now it's open here. We have draft and we can get a flu, and they will say that we have coronavirus. So, what I'm saying?
Who is supposed to serve whom?
Yeah, who is supposed to serve who? Who is supposed to be disappointed with whom? I mean, you are disappointed with your guru. I didn't read in the Vedic scriptures that disciple is disappointed with his guru. Of course, if the guru falls down, that's another thing, and stops following the Vedic principles. But if the guru is in good standing, then actually you are supposed to reach out to your guru. Not that he reaches out to you. And sometimes they always think that the guru is a marriage counselor or financial planner and things like that, and then they expect so much from the guru, and they don't ask what the guru expects from me. So this is all like upside down or topsy-turvy understanding. And then I say, why don't you write him regular reports? How are you doing? Oh, okay, maybe I should do that. Then you will feel a stronger connection. So why I'm mentioning this? Why I'm mentioning this is that how do you utilize material energy in the service of the Lord? You utilize material energy in the service of the Lord with the guidance of the spiritual master. He can tell you, he can instruct you, he can guide you how to do this. Also, those who serve as mentors, counselors, they can help you also to serve the spiritual master. Sometimes devotees ask me, are you a guru? Do you give initiations? And I say, no, I help you to serve your guru. I will help you to find the guru and then serve him. So that's another service, another role. So you always ask this question, how can I positively engage everything I have in Krishna service? You can have different resources, you can have your personal talents, skills, different kind of energies, physical energy, strength, physical energy, mental energy, intellectual energy, capacity, and you always ask, how can I utilize this optimally in Krishna service? So one thing that we also can help devotees is optimization, which means using everything. First of all, discovering what you have, and some things that you are not using. So discovering what you have. So there is only two kinds of activities in life: devotional service and Maya.
Maya service.
Which means
Sense gratification.
sense gratification. Sense gratification. We see that in the scriptures, sense gratification is not completely forbidden, but is described in which way one should gratify his senses. We say one has to gratify his senses in a bona fide way. A bona fide way is a way that doesn't degrade the person. So everything is very scientifically explained in the scriptures, and when we preach, if we scientifically explain everything, even about these things that are very, very touchy, when you speak about sense gratification, people may kill you or taking away something from them. They are toys for enjoyment. So if we explain it scientifically, as Srila Prabhupada explains, then some of the intelligent people may understand it and accept it. They say, oh, that makes sense. I don't like it, but it makes sense. I don't like renunciation. I don't like to satisfy the senses of the Lord because I'm trying to satisfy my senses. But it makes sense that there is this and there is that, and there is this and there is that. So you may understand that something makes sense, although you may not like it. For example, you may understand that God is the supreme enjoyer, but you don't like it because you would like to be the one. So therefore, we need to practice submission. We need to practice submission. Just like sometimes male devotees hear that wife should be submissive, and then they always mention this. But the question is, are you submissive too? And to whom are you submissive? The husband should be more submissive than his wife to Krishna and to his service and to his guru, and ultimately respect his wife also, exceptionally because she's a devotee. Submission, even one can practice submission by offering obeisances. You know Raghunath Goswami, how many times he offers obeisances every day? 1,000 times. Why he would do this? I mean, is he a little like nuts or something? Raghunath Das Goswami, one of the 6 Goswamis. So why he's doing this? It's wasting time, just bowing down and offering dandavat or something. But actually, it affects the mind. It affects the mentality. It affects the consciousness. Physical act of bowing down affects the consciousness. So this is why he's doing it. And sometimes we do like this because we are lazy to bow down. Also, many devotees, they don't tell the mantra when they actually offer obeisances. Something very quick, or I don't know what they say, jai or something. Bow down and then very quickly, or maybe say nothing, just few seconds bowing down, not saying the whole mantra, for example, of your Guru Maharaj. But one should actually say audibly the whole mantra, audibly, that he can hear it and other can hear it. And not just murmur something or say nothing. It's not proper. You have taken initiation from the spiritual master and now you are not reciting his mantra properly. Well, what is kind of discipleship is this? Or maybe when you chant Gayatri, if you have second initiation, then you think maybe should I bow down? Nobody's seeing me. Should I bow down or not after I offer it? Yeah, you should. You should bow down. Even if nobody's seeing you. Krishna is seeing you all the time. So there is no accident in success, in Krishna consciousness and in life in general. My friend who is, I would say, inclined, he's like a friend of Lord Krishna, likes to help, not practicing very much. He didn't still understand the importance of chanting. But I was telling him about the price that one has to pay. You have to pay the price. Price of success, I was saying. And he said, what is this price? It's a good question. If somebody asks you, what is the price? Because people don't even ask that. When they hear about the price, they say, oh, I think we should avoid this topic, paying the price. And I told him very simply, what is the price? One has to engage in devotional service, 9 processes, and first 7 are Vaidhi Bhakti, second 2, and the last 2 are Raganuga Bhakti. And success is not an accident. Success is not an accident. If you want to be successful, you need to learn how to do it and do it. So it's not hard to understand, but it's hard to do. You know what are the bestsellers on Amazon usually? What books are the bestsellers? Huh? No. They are high, but high on the chart. Usually they are which books?
How to get rich.
Huh?
How to get rich. You like this?
No. No, you don't believe. You don't believe me, but no. The highest ranked books on Amazon are books about diet. Americans buy so many, not only Americans, all over the world, people are buying so many books about diet. But they are not getting in shape. They are not getting in shape. So, it's also hard to understand something, but it's hard to do. So one has to bridge the gap between the know and do. There is a gap between knowing and doing. And how can you bridge this gap? If you are not convinced of the benefits, how can you bridge this gap? So one has to become really convinced of the benefits of bridging the gap between knowing and doing, and be convinced of the benefit of enormous benefits that he will get by doing something. We see that teacher, he is teaching you and helping you to understand something, but a coach or a mentor, he is helping you to do something. And you can have both roles for someone. To do something, to apply the knowledge in your practical everyday life. And there is so much misunderstanding of the application. Yesterday, Keshava Prabhu sent me a link to a panel discussion about domestic abuse. The title was, I love Krishna, but I beat my wife. And so 4 devotees, 3 of them are some kind of expert. They were all ladies. And Nuttama Prabhu, they were discussing different conceptions of family life and marriage relationship. They were discussing different conceptions, and like wife should be submissive, and then can you imagine that there is a habit of blaming the victim of abuse? Can you imagine that in ISKCON? This is also in the secular society habit, but also in ISKCON they say that there is a habit of blaming the victim of abuse for the abuse. Isn't that crazy? Blaming the victim instead of protecting the victim, one is blaming the victim. So they were discussing some misapplication and misunderstanding of the scriptures there. And then they were discussing what are different resources, whom you can contact if you have a problem. And then they speak about education as the panacea or remedy or medicine for, how to say, eliminating these kinds of things in a spiritual society. So one remedy is education, but education is not enough. Sometimes you need legal action. And authorities, ISKCON authorities encourage devotees to go to police, to go to social workers if possible, if there is no devotees who can do that. But we have not developed a habit of going to police because sometimes police is also corrupted. And sometimes even a devotee who is an abuser, or so-called devotee who is an abuser, he may also bribe the police. So all kinds of things are going on, criminal activities. So so proper understanding what should be done, what should not be done. Pravritim cha, nivitim cha, jana navidu asuraha. Demons, they don't understand what should be done and what should not be done. What should be done and what should not be done. Then they were speaking about women who do abuse also. You cheat their husband, take away all the possessions in some way, or get married, then divorce, then get the half of the possessions of the husband. These things are going on. So this is one of the tendencies of the conditioned soul, is to cheat. And this is very much present in conditioned souls, even in spiritual practitioners. So if one wants to properly utilize all the resources that are given to him by Krishna on the principle of Yukta Vairagya, one needs to learn to discriminate how and what and why and where. Properly understand how to utilize different things. So sometimes one needs to utilize force, or sometimes one needs to utilize violence even to protect. Like Arjuna had to do this. To utilize violence, there is a proper utilization of violence, sometimes. A proper utilization of violence to protect the weak, or to protect the religious principles. So Maharaj Prithu, he could do all of these things. And Rajarshi was not only a rishi, he was also a raja, which means he was a king, he was a manager, and he had to take very, very decisive steps to protect people if there is intruders. I remember when I was in a primary school, my chemistry teacher, she was telling about Russia. And I don't know if it's at that time or a little bit earlier than when I was in the primary school. I think I was in primary school in the 60s. Yes, in the 60s. So I don't know if this was before that time what she was talking about or later, but she said that if you steal in Russia, you get your hand cut off. And next time, the thief will think twice. Oh, if I get cut off, they will. If I steal, my hand will be cut off. So it's a warning to any next perpetrator or a criminal that you can get in serious trouble. And when perpetrators see that they can get away with things, then there is more perpetrators. You see, oh, ISKCON people are soft. We can do child abuse in ISKCON. We can, nobody will get on my case if I beat my wife, because devotees, they either don't care or they don't know and things like that. So education is not enough. Some of the devotees are always stressing education, but education is not enough. Sometimes you need to take very, very strict action to protect people, legal action to protect people. Otherwise, nothing happens. I had experience myself. My stepdaughter was mistreated by one Mataji, and I was asking the authorities, so what are you going to do about this? Well, she should apologize, and she's not apologizing. 3 days, 4 days, 5 days. I said, Prabhu, what is happening? I mean, this woman has abused this little girl, and nothing is happening. Oh, this and that, and this and that. And then I contacted International Child Protection Office and complained about the case and seek advice. And authorities in that temple were very upset with me. Why are you making international, voice? Why? Because you are doing nothing. Didn't kick me out yet from the temple. I mean, these devotees are not bad people, but they didn't take action when they needed to take action. And sometimes being too soft is not good. Being too Brahminical, so-called, is not good. People think Brahmanas are always soft. It's not true. They killed King Vena with mantras. This is not soft. This is killing. Brahmana can kill you. Brahmana can also kill you because some Brahmanas have muscles or have a gun. So when you need decisive action, then it's not time to be soft. It's not time to be soft. And I didn't participate. I just watched this because I accessed this link when it was already recorded and we took. But if I would, I wrote to Anutta Mahaprabhu and he wrote back and I sent him. He didn't receive my letter that I sent him recently. But he was kind. He helped me to. He was asking others to help me to get in touch with someone in Europe who can help if the ladies have violence problems in their marriage. And I didn't ask for Prabhu's that what if the wife is beating the husband? I didn't have such case. Nobody complained to me about this, but I did have cases where ladies are complaining to me that they're mistreated by their husband. So to put such things, practical things in place is necessary, and child protection offices in ISKCON should be much more powerful and much more effective to actually react very strongly if something happens. Not just drag on forever, and in the meantime the abuser is doing whatever he likes, he is still in the position of authority. This is complete nonsense. This cannot be. This cannot be. One has to be fast in these situations. So at least this is my understanding how we should apply the Shastra principles, the principles, Brahminical principles, Kshatriya principles, principles of protection of men, of children or women, elderly, cows and brahmanas, and in this way we can do our duty. Otherwise, we're not doing our duty, we're just sleeping. And personalities like Maharaj Prithu, they would be very, very clear and decisive and strong in such situations to protect people. They were not only, they were like a caring father, but also caring father who is able to be strict when needed, with people who need strictness, who need to be corrected. So this verse describes that basically what we are facing every day. You have some time, you have some energy, how will you use it? Will you use it to try to enjoy Sita, or to bring Sita next to Rama? Bring Sita next to Rama. Thank you very much for listening. Do you have any questions? Yes?
Yes, my question is, we are speaking about this abuse, not for the first time, so I think it's a natural thing. That's why my question is, so I don't know what had happened with this woman who has made this abuse to your daughter, or it's not only this case, yes, shouldn't be such personal case. Yeah, but what could be done to a woman in our moment when she had abused? Should she be taken to the prison? Should she be beaten? Should she be so just how to say public thing that the others can learn from her case? Or should be preached certainly to become better? What should it be? What could be done?
You can excuse one or two times and see how a sincere person is to apologize. And if the person is very apologetic, very sorry for doing this, then this person can be given a chance to correct her behavior. But if she's not, then some stricter measures have to be taken, and also just law, just law.
What law? Our law?
No, not our law, outside law. Take her to police. In this case, what I experienced is that she was not very apologetic. And I said to them, she has to write more sincere something. And she did. She did. She's also not, maybe it was a moment of, I don't know, irritation. And my stepdaughter can irritate you easily. I know that. But, so maybe she was very small, but she can tell you things that you really freak out. So maybe she said something, and then she took her head and put it under the pipe. Can you imagine that?
The pipe.
Pipe. Water. That's
Yes.
pipe. Water. So put your head under the pipe.
And with me happened the worst things. I will
Also.
not tell. Yes. And yes, and I apologized in some time because I
You
didn't
apologized?
feel, yes, I apologized because I didn't feel any angriness to this person because I know she had many difficulties and she was very arrogant.
Yeah.
I didn't feel anything. What I
So this happened to you in Krishna consciousness?
but not this, it was the other thing.
This happened to you in Krishna consciousness, in
Yes,
ISKCON?
certainly.
Okay.
Yes.
Sorry to hear this.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
It's not okay.
It's okay.
It's not okay.
It's okay
No,
because we
it's
are
not
under
okay.
there. We are being purified from all sides. We have collected so much dirt and so many karmas, not only mine. We are all together. You see, how can we separate my acts and the other acts? We are all together. It's just like how to call it. How to call this? Just a piece when we are streaking. Just like the hole.
Hole?
The hole full of dirt.
Okay. Okay.
Just like the diamonds
So
in the
thank you so much for mentioning this
in the zek, and we are arriving.
about purification.
Frictioning, yes, and we're helping each other to be purified.
Okay, so I
That's
want to
what
comment
I
on
can
this.
understand. Okay, I'm sorry, but I wanted only to give this example.
I want to comment on this. So this is also another thing that is going on. So you as a person who has experienced some mistreatment, you can think, well, because of my karma, I'm getting this, and the Lord wants to purify me. The Lord wants to purify me by giving me some suffering. So you can think like this, but nobody else can think like this.
I don't mean this. I never think that's my karma, I should purify the karma, that's my karma. That's not about this. That's about the relationships between the devotees. That's about how to develop our qualities.
Okay. But still, you reminded me of that point, so I want to say about this. So if you think like this, that's okay, but nobody else should think like this. Like, what happens is that the abuser is thinking that, oh, I'm purifying you by giving you pain. This is complete nonsense. This person will get heavy karma for this. I'm purifying you, by giving you physical or emotional pain. It's complete nonsense. And others also can preach to you. Oh yeah, because you are a rascal, now you are experiencing this, Yes, true. I can think like this, but if anybody else thinks like this, they will get in trouble. Because they are not allowed to do this. They think, oh, I'm the instrument in the hand of God of your karma, so you have to suffer through me. Good luck with this understanding. Good luck.
It's not about that. How we can then distribute the books if we are feeling abused from the many people. Sometimes they say, I can't repeat what they say, yes. Sometimes they spook. How to do it, I don't know, I'm sorry.
Spite.
Sometimes more. Sometimes they simply hating you.
No, that's not the same. It's not the same.
Why not?
It's not the same. People outside and devotees, it's not the same.
Yes, but they are all spiritual souls or not?
It doesn't matter. If they mistreat you, it's not the same as the devotees mistreat you.
Yes,
it's not
certainly.
The same.
I agree. It should be done something, but we should take it just like so peacefully. You should apologize. We can wait. We can speak. We can do something. I think so. Or we can feel just reaction, or we can't feel the reaction. If I don't feel the reaction, shall I make my reaction artificially? And then in some time, in 1 year, she came to me and she apologized.
Yeah.
In 1 year.
Okay, any other question?